Hello everyone, this is the Evil 1666 and this is my review on Elden Ring. What can I say about this game? It is fantastic. After putting in about 60, 70 hours, maybe, it is just phenomenal. I've got every ending, all the secret endings as well, and it is just amazing. It is fantastic. The combat is solid. The story is brilliant. The boss fights are intense. It is an amazing game. It's not all sunshine and rainbows though. I do have a few gripes with it, especially regarding PvP and co-op, especially in the free roam areas. But we'll get to that when the time comes. So, the start of my journey, I decided to choose the samurai class, and I killed Godfrey, done all of Limgrave basically, and then I lost my character due to a power cut. Well, didn't lose my character, I lost a lot of data which I had done. I had killed a few optional bosses, and for some reason it just, when my power went out, I lost it all. So after that I decided to start again, and this time I chose the Wretch so I can balance out everything, and if I wanted to choose different paths then I could without having to scale too much towards magic or faith or anything like that. So in the end I decided to go with an all-round build. As you can see with my stats, I've tried to keep everything equal. It was mainly a strength dex build at first, but then I started leaning towards more on faith and intel due to some of the weapon scaling. The weapons in this are amazing. However, there are a few set weapons which will just carry you throughout the game. This weapon that I'm using now, the Icewind Hatchet, this weapon is disgusting. This weapon, you can cheese every single boss with this move. Now, if you don't know what Frost does in the game, Frost acts a little bit like Bleed. It'll apply a proc, taking off a set amount of health, but then it will also make enemies weaker to damage as well. So not only are you doing a massive stomp, you can just keep chaining this. It can stagger enemies as well, so you just cheese the shit out of everything with this move. And obviously once they've staggered, the block applies, and then a chunk of their health will get taken off, and then you will follow up with further attacks and they'll be weaker as well. This isn't the only weapon. There's also, I don't think I've got it in my inventory, but there's the Blade of Fire and Magic or whatever. You probably see loads of people using it as it's just a cheese weapon. It's got one of the best moves in the game, which is like a laser, and it just melts people. It's insane. Some of the other weapons are great as well. However, I've noticed with these types of weapons, these like special weapons you'd call them, you can't really get a very high scale from them. Obviously with this one it's got a B, but you won't see any of them with like an A or an S, really. I mean, there might be a few, but I could be wrong, but I haven't seen any with a scaling in A or S. But it doesn't matter, because like I say, the moves on the weapon are just insanely strong anyway. As I was saying, combat is amazing. I'll show you how powerful this Icewind move, the Hoarfrost Stomp as it's called. Let's get all of them gathered up, and I'll show you how strong this shit can be. While we're doing this, I will go into it. I have completed every single story. So I've done the story of the Frenzied Flame, I've ushered in the Age of Stars, which honestly was the best ending. There is, however, 2 secret endings following the Elden Lord path. Along your journey, if you side with Rani, she will you will get an item called the Curse Mark of Death or something. This also ties into Fia's storyline, the Deathbed Maiden, or whatever her name is. You have to do hers to get this, the Mending Rune of the Death Prince. So you get 2 halves, and this is what it turns into. Now this can be used to repair the Elden Ring. However, it will bring death into order, so there's no more cheating death for gods or anything, basically. It just makes the story normal, really. However, there is another ending, which if you follow, I can't remember who it is. That's it. It's the monk guy at the round table, the guy with the wheel around his neck. If you follow his story and meet the gold mask, you can get another special rune which repairs the Elden Ring. I haven't done that one because once you lock in a certain part of the game, it sort of fucks a lot of things up. So I will put out a warning. Once you complete the Mountaintops of the Giants and you get warped to Farum Azula, don't kill Malekith, the boss here. Do not kill him because that will destroy Leyndell, and it locks you out of PvE and PvP in that area, which is a bit odd because I did try helping my friend. He's got normal Leyndell and my Leyndell's destroyed, so he couldn't summon me for some reason. So whatever you do, don't complete Farum Azula unless you want that ending. It's not really an ending, actually. It's just weird, actually. However, it is fantastic. I have to say the best ending is the ending of the Stars, Rani's quest line. It was fantastic. It's an emotional journey and it is brilliant. Don't listen to all these fucking idiots on Twitter complaining about Elden Ring. They're just idiots that think Horizon Forbidden West's better just because it holds your hand with everything. With the Souls games, you don't need your hand held. You do what you want to do. If you want to follow a storyline, you follow that storyline. There's nothing more I can say, really. This game is just beautiful. I mean, look, this is part of the ending, so obviously the the Erdtree, is a flame. It's once you complete the Land of the Giants, it does get set aflame, but not that bad. The reason why it's so bad there is because I unleashed the Death Rune, which is what you get from killing Malekith over here. Just don't do it. It, like I say, it destroys Leyndell, so it's not worth it unless you want to tie yourself into that and get one of the best looking armors in the game. I think I've still got it in my inventory. You get this armor set for killing Malekith, and obviously if you choose to use his soul for his weapon, you get like the Death Blade or whatever it's called. But I genuinely don't know what else to say. This game is just stunning. The story is great. It's just amazing. Moving on to the PvP and PvE though, however, this is where it doesn't... It's not that good. There's a lot of choices that don't make sense, especially with the free roam area like here. If you summon a friend in the free roam area, you cannot use Torrent. None of you can use Torrent. It locks you to just walking, running basically. Now, you might think that's not bad, but however, these areas, these free roam areas are massive. If you was to use PvE from the first step and go all the way up to the castle, it's going to take you at least fucking 20-30 minutes just to run up there. It's a nightmare. But apart from that, that's the only problem I have with PvE, is just how long it takes and not being able to use your horse. Now, when it comes to PvP, however, the problem is even worse. Not only can you not use torrent in PvP, I've noticed a lot of the invaders that I've fought turn out to be chicken shit pussies. Once they start losing, they will just start running and running and running into hordes of enemies, and it just becomes a joke. You just play cat and mouse at that point, and it's not fun because you're spending half an hour chasing after this one idiot who you know, thought he had big enough balls to come and invade you, but in the end he starts getting spanked and then he wants to run home to mommy, and that's what they do, is they'll just start running off into hordes of enemies for you to deal with, and then they'll just try and gank you, and it's not fun. It's not so much that I'm shit at it, it's just childish, really. Like, if you want to invade someone, be a man and fucking square up to them. Don't run off to your older fucking brother and think, you know, act like all little pussies. It's not fun. One of the big things that I didn't understand was the removal of covenants. The covenant system was great, as tedious as it could be, locking certain items behind covenant rewards. It was fun to belong to someone. Everyone who was a PvE player would mostly be in the Covenant of the Sun, and you know, you'll be a sun bro. If you were PvP players, you'd be red. Well, I don't even know. Like back in Dark Souls 3, you'd be in the graveyard covenant, whatever it was called. Ones where you collected vertebrae things. And I do think it was a bit of a strange decision removing covenants from Elden Ring, because there's a lot of things you could do. Like, you could have the Covenant of the Frenzied Flame and lock a few flame spells behind it, or some madness weapons, which the game seems to be sorely lacking madness weapons. I think throughout my playthrough, I only managed to find one madness weapon, and that was up. It was up over here. You get invaded by someone called Vike, and you get his spear from killing him, and that was the only madness weapon I ever found during my playthrough. Obviously, there's a few spells you can get as well. Yeah, I'll show you. Like the Flame of Frenzy, Frenzied Burst, and Howl of Shabriri. An Inescapable Frenzy. But compared that to everything else, it's insane. There's loads more flame ones, black flames. I do like the addition of the beasts stuff, but I do think there could have been more. The spells in this are insane. They are fantastic. I do love, even though I didn't spec my character towards using them, I do love the amount that is here and the variation between them. Other than that, I do think it's just weird that they didn't have covenants. Like, I would have loved to have had the dragon covenant, because there seems to be a load more dragon spells in the game, which would have been great. And maybe having, I don't know, a dragon armor or a dragon form like in the previous Souls games would have been fun again. But yeah, enough about covenants, because I could just go on about it forever. But the game, no matter what anyone says, the game is fantastic. Even if you are a solo player, you still can have backup in the form of these summons. Now, I found Banished Knight Oleg here to be an absolute fucking Chad. He carried me through the game so much. I leveled him up to plus 10, so he's got absolutely tons of health. And his moveset is just great. Once you go against him, though, however, he's horrible to fight. But no, Banished Knight Oleg is one of the greatest, and to get him, you have to use 2 stone sword keys here in the starting area, basically, and then you'll unlock this thing called the Fringe Folk Heroes Graves. It's a nightmare. It's horrible because there's a chariot down there that will one-shot you. So it's an endurance test basically, with a lot of dodging and jumping to get out of the way of this chariot. It's just horrible. It's great though. It's still great. I don't care. Like, it's just amazing. I did die to it multiple times, so I'm not gonna lie there. Another thing that I died multiple times on was Star Scourge Radahn. Now, this boss fight is a fucking nightmare. If you were to go in with normal players, you can't use your horse, so you're just sprinting up to this boss, and I'll show you the battle arena. The arena for Star Scourge Radahn is insanely big. Now, he starts literally like on this hill, and you start all the way over there. So he's here, and he is just pelting you with magic arrows, everything. Now, with this boss, the gimmick is there's loads of summons in the arena. So you can summon Blythe, you can summon Patches, Alexander the Iron Jar. There are so many people to summon to fight this boss, because it's like a tournament. Whoever wins the fight gets his rune and shit like that, and grants him a great death, a warrior's death sort of thing. Now, if you're with friends, again, you can't use your horse, so you are literally spending 10 minutes dodging the boss, getting all these other summons that appear around these areas, and dodging his arrows. And the closer you get to the boss, he switches his arrow game up. He goes from a long range hypersonic fucking arrow to raining arrows down on your head to a fucking shotgun blast of arrows. And you can imagine how annoying that can be, trying to dodge the rain and then dodging his fucking shotgun blast, only for you to get close to him, and then he turns into an absolute fucking machine. He rips out his dual swords and he just starts going to town on everyone you have summoned, and you included. Now, again, the arena is massive, and once you've got him to half health, he switches it up again. He flies into the air and then comes crashing down like a comet. If you don't get out of the way of that, that's going to be an instant kill, which I thought was a bit cheap. And then another move he does is he slams his swords into the ground, and then he has like these 4 boulders hover around him. I can't seem to get the attack pattern down for this, because they'll hover around him and then just randomly shoot off. I don't know if it's something he does, or it's like homing soul mass, if you get close to him and then they shoot off. But that move was cheap as shit as well, because that was like an instant kill for me. Because at the time, I was only round about level 70, 80, and I was just having a nightmare with him, to the point where I spent about 10 rune arcs, and in the end I just left it and then made my way to Lane-Dell. I actually completed Lane-Dell before killing Star Scourge Radahn, just so I can level up basically. And in the end I was roughly around about 120, 130 when I came back to kill him. So that was a nightmare. Lanedale was good. I thought some of the bosses were fairly easy. Liurnia, again, fairly easy. Mount Gelmir was quite tough. However, the boss fight was fantastic. Fighting Praetor Rykard was amazing. Using the same gimmick that they've done in Dark Souls 3, Demon Souls, and having a special weapon to take on the boss was fantastic. It was even better in this. The weapon has better moves than previous games, so it's more fun to have these little moves that you could do. And the boss was just fucking creepy as hell. As you can see, that's his head, and she's fucking eating him like a weirdo. But it was great. It was one of the greatest fights in the game, if you ask me. Volcano Manor in general was a great place to be. It's such a cool little area. And again, I know I'm going back to Covenants again. I thought the Volcano Manor storyline could have actually been a Covenant, because they were sort of focused towards PvP, where they'd give you targets you'd go to and then go kill them. And again, it just comes back to not being a Covenant. You just do it, and yes, she gives you a few rewards, but I thought it would have been better to have actually had it as a Covenant with, like, you know, a little scoreboard system thing like they had in previous games. But anyway, enough about that. And I keep fucking waffling on about it, so sorry about that. It was a great area. I really did enjoy it. All of the side areas as well. While some of them can look copy and pasted, it's I don't know. I can't give it a pass because it is a bit lazy sometimes. But again, there's so much to do, and it's all optional. It's not forcing you to do it, where other games do. Like there'll be items that you can use. Like if you, for instance, if you come to Murkwater Cave and you do the Patches boss fight, you will get an item you can buy it, called Margit's Shackle. Now that will be used on Margit, the first boss, before getting into the castle. Not the castle, sorry. It's the castle. Before getting into the castle properly. You fight Margit, the Fellowman. Now if you use this item, it's like a gravity well. It will pull him to the ground and briefly stun him for a couple of seconds till he breaks out. I've noticed you only get 2 uses out of it before it stops working on him, sorry. But again, going back to Lanedale, there's another item. If you do all the underground bit, you'll find another item, which is Mog's Shackle, which does pretty much exactly the same, but for Mog the Fellowman. If you do all of Farum Azula, you get the Blasphemous Claw, which you can then use against Malekith to dodge his homing lock-on blades that attack you. And there's so much to do, and it's optional. You don't have to go and get it. You don't have to go out of your way just to get this item. However, it does make fights easier, but you know, it's up to you if you want to do it. Like, it's the same with, there's for instance, this Physic, which is an amazing addition to the game. I love it. It helps you so much. There is one of these tiers, and there it is. It's the Purifying Crystal tier. Now this is for the Lord of Blood boss fight, and I didn't use it because I was an idiot and I didn't know I had it. Now the Lord of Blood, he puts a debuff on you which stacks up to 3 times. He will then do a move which activates these buffs and causes damage to you but healing him. Now, if you drank that physic with that tier on, it will get rid of the debuff, and he won't heal, and he won't. Well, he'll still do the move, but it won't affect you. So you can just get in there and wail on him after that. However, with the bosses, there is one boss who I despise. She is cheap as fuck. Her moveset is so unpredictable and horrible, and she's just a cunt. And I'm sorry to say it, I'm sorry I'm using naughty words, but Millennia, the goddess of rot, is an absolute whore, and I never want to verse her again. She, not only does she have a weapon that causes bleed, actually no it doesn't, it does if you get the weapon, sorry, she doesn't cause bleed to you, she causes crimson rot to you. Now crimson rot in this is like toxic in the other Dark Souls games. It's like poison. It acts really fast and does a ton of damage to you really fast. Her first phase of the boss fight is quite easy. You can stagger her, and she's just she's sort of like a player. She's like Lady Maria in Bloodborne. She's fairly easy until you get to a second phase. However, her gimmick is every time she lands a hit on you, she will heal. So she's got life steal on her weapon. So you complete her first fight, her first phase, and then she activates her second phase, which she then uses Scarlet Rot. She can fly. She's got this fucking 200 hit combo, which is ridiculous, which killed me so many times. And she's just a general fucking nuisance. She will then fly up in the air for one attack and then come crashing down into this massive flower that you can see now. That is a massive AoE attack, and then lasts for about 5-6 seconds after, causing Scarlet Rot if you're in the vicinity of it. She's an absolutely horrible boss fight. I hate her with a passion. The area she's in, though, however, is beautiful. You're running along these branches trying to get down to the base of the tree, and it's fantastic. It's so breathtaking. The visuals is just beautiful. I mean, just look at this. You actually get to go down there, and well, there's a boss fight over there. You can clearly tell that's a boss arena. But it's just beautiful. They really have outdone themselves visually, and I just can't praise them enough. This game is amazing, and no matter what build you go for, you will always feel powerful. Maybe not at the start, obviously, because you're just a pissant little tarnished. And as you level up, you start feeling the power within you. You know, you're fucking things up. You're facing off these dragons and bosses which you couldn't fight before. It was amazing, and one of my favourite parts was going to face the dragons. Like, there was so many different types of dragons to face, and they're amazing. Like, they'll fly up, they'll come and strafe you, breathing their different types of fire breath. Now, not all of them have a fire breath. Some of them will be like ice or rot or, you know, everything. And it's so fun. It's really enjoyable facing off against dragons, because you're just this tiny little human going against this massive beast. And it's great. It's like they've took all of the aspects from different games and just combined them into one. Like, for instance, doing the Beast storyline, Gorank, he was awesome. He asks you to get these items called Death Root, and you feed them to him, basically. After about 3, he'll start going a bit crazy, and he will attack you. So you do have to do a little fight with him. Obviously, he's not here now because I've completed his quest line, and, well, I won't ruin it, but he turns out to be someone he wasn't. But his quest line was fun. It was a bit tedious trying to find all the death routes, because most of them were in the crypts that you had to go down into and find them. but it was brilliant. He's such a cool character. One of my favourite boss fights was Godfrick. It's just hilarious when he cuts off his own fucking arm, and he's just there for 2 minutes screaming in agony. It's just hilarious. It's just a great game. I can't keep saying it enough. It's such a fun time with your friends. Apart from spending fucking half an hour running across the map. I do believe there is going to be DLC, because there is these areas on the map here. These are little colosseums. So I do believe you can't actually go into any of them. So I do feel that these are going to be DLC areas. This one is guarded by a ginormous pot, and you have to defeat 3 of his little homies, and he gives you a talisman. The one here, there's fuck all there, and then the other one is up here. So I do believe that these are going to be DLC areas. Maybe it's going to be a teleporter or something, but it's going to be interesting to see what these are going to be used for. Other than that, I don't really know what to say now. I think I've covered quite a lot. As you can see, I've completed pretty much everything. It's amazing. The game is just beautiful. The gameplay is solid. You don't need a game to hold your hand. There's so many little hints and things that point you in the direction that you've got to go. At the start of the game, it can be a bit overwhelming. You'll come out... Wrong button. You'll come out of the thing, and you're just here, and, you don't know where to go. You make your way, it tells you to follow the wisps on your map, and, yeah. One thing that I don't really like is that once you've completed a cave, it doesn't say if you've completed or not. You can't really tick it off either. I do think that would have been a handy little feature, because there's been times where I've just gone into a crypt just to get the grace and then came back out because I was doing something. For instance, I couldn't remember if I completed Limgrave Tunnels because I actually wanted to fight the dragon, so I'd used this thing here before I knew about these ones. And then I'd come face the dragon, and I completely forgot that I didn't do the Limgrave Tunnels until after. Another odd decision was the killing of NPCs. Some of the quest lines can be really awkward. For instance, Celine here, her quest line is a really odd one. I didn't know she had a quest line until late game. I found her body over here. I found someone who looked like her pinned to a wall, and I accidentally, I say accidentally, I was reading the messages, and messages were saying to kill her, and obviously I shouldn't have listened to the messages, but I did, and nothing happened. Her body just disappeared, nothing got dropped. And then I thought, well, that's a bit strange. She looked like Celine, so I warped back to Celine, and then Celine was gone then. Luckily for me, though, I did have a fucking Mountain Dew, whatever the bastard thing's called. Let me find it. I did have one of these Celestial Dews, so I could carry out Absolution, and the NPC was then brought back to life and all that jazz. So that was great. I'm glad that happened. Otherwise, it could have been a nightmare. But I did finish her questline, which was quite cool. The Beast questline was great. I did miss out on a few. I did miss out on the blind woman, who her questline takes you to the Frenzied Flame, and she can become your maiden or something if you decide not to choose Melania as your maiden. Obviously, I didn't choose to reject Melania. I just let her be my maiden throughout the game, and then the ending, even though I've got all of them, I decided to stick with the ending of the Stars, which was Rani's quest line, and it was a great quest line. I felt really bad for killing Blade, however you want to call his name, the Wolfman. That was not very nice because I thought he was the best character in the game, him and EG. However, I don't know if there is a continuation to the storyline, because here with EG, he gets killed by the Black Knives, and yeah, he's just dead. You get his bell bearing so you can take it back to the creepy old ladies in the round table, so you still get access to his shop, but I completely had no idea what happened to him. Like, I just came back to see him and he was dead. So I don't even know when it happened, which was a bit of a shame. But her storyline was the greatest. If you want the Moonlight Greatsword, follow Rani's storyline. And, I mean, who doesn't want to get married to a fucking god? It's great, you know. The Frenzied Flame ending was a bit weak, I thought. It wasn't all that great. I thought it could have been a bit better. And then the Mark of Death. See, I chose, with the Elden Lord ending, I chose to use the Mark of Death, whatever it's called. That thing that I showed you earlier. That ending was cool. I didn't do the normal ending, however, just the normal Elden Lord ending, so I don't know what that's like. Or that other secret one, Tellarlight, the one with the gold mask, whatever his name is, because apparently he drops you a special rune to fix the Elden Ring. But yeah, I guess that's about it. And honestly, I can't recommend this game enough. You'll put so many hours into it and you will enjoy it so much. It can get stressful, but as long as you've got some great friends to help you through boss fights, then just go for it. And if anyone needs help, just leave me a comment and I'll come into your world and help you all out. I don't mind doing it. I'll even drop you some runes, which I've found a duplication for. So if you need to level up, just drop me a message and I'll reply back to you. Thank you all for watching. This was the Evil 1666, and I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a comment and a like and a subscription if you feel like it. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. Fuck you! Fuck you! You faggot! You fucking twat! time. Yeah. Remembrance of the Black Blade. Got her! You fucking whore! Suck on me! You just fucking wait till you get to this cunt whore, bitch. 480. No, I don't know. Hang on, just chill. Got you, you fucking weeb. Go back to Street Fighter, you little cunt. Yeah, it's a horrible boss.